Rain lashed against the windshield. The wipers worked furiously. Sarah squinted, trying to see through the downpour. She just wanted to get home. Her late shift had ended even later than usual. Now she was driving the deserted dark highway. A shiver ran down her spine. She gripped the steering wheel tighter. The old road was swallowed by thick woods on either side. The headlights barely pierced the darkness. Each shadow seemed to writhe. They looked like clawing hands. Sarah forced herself to focus on the road. Don't be silly, she thought. It's just the storm. A low growl echoed from her car engine. Sarah's heart skipped a beat. The growl deepened. The car sputtered, lurched, and finally died. The headlights flickered and went out, plunging Sarah into absolute darkness. No, 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 she cried, hitting the steering wheel in frustration. Taking a deep breath, Sarah tried to calm her racing heart. It's fine, she told herself. I can fix this. Maybe it's just a loose connection. She grabbed her flashlight from the glove box and climbed out of the car. The rain was icy cold. It stung her skin. Wind howled through the trees, making the branches sway like ghostly figures. The engine ticked as it cooled, the sound unnervingly loud in the silence. Sarah popped the hood and fumbled for her phone, using it as a makeshift flashlight to examine the engine. She didn't know much about cars. Everything looked unfamiliar and complicated in the dim light. Raindrops splashed on the metal, blurring her vision. Frustration welled up inside her. She was stranded, alone, and with each passing second, the darkness felt more oppressive. As she fumbled with the engine, a twig snapped behind her. Sarah froze, her blood turning to ice. She slowly turned, her heart pounding against her ribs. A tall figure stood at the edge of the road, shrouded in the shadows of the trees. Fear, raw and primal, seized Sarah. She couldn't make out the figure's face. The darkness seemed to cling to it, obscuring its features. It was unnaturally still, like a predator waiting to strike. Sarah stumbled back, dropping her phone. The precious light flickered and died, plunging her into absolute darkness once more. The figure moved. It took a step closer to her. Panic surged through Sarah, threatening to overwhelm her. She couldn't stay here. She had to get back in the car. Safety, even the illusion of it, lay within the locked doors. Turning on her heel, Sarah ran. The rain soaked through her clothes, clinging to her like a shroud. She could hear her own ragged breaths, the panicked thump of her heart. Reaching the car, Sarah fumbled with the handle, yanking the door open and throwing herself inside. She slammed the door shut and locked it, the sound echoing in the small space. Her chest heaved as she tried to slow her breathing. She risked a glance back at the road. The figure was gone. Don't panic, Sarah told herself, her voice trembling. Just get out of here. She jammed the key into the ignition and twisted it. The engine whined, struggling to catch. Her heart sank. Come on, she pleaded silently. Then, with a sputtering cough, the engine roared to life. Relief flooded through Sarah. She threw the car into gear and hit the gas, not caring where she was going as long as it was away from that figure and the oppressive darkness of the woods. The rain continued to fall, blurring the road ahead. Sarah gripped the steering wheel, her knuckles white. She checked the rearview mirror, but the blinding rain made it impossible to see anything. The headlights illuminated only a small circle of the wet asphalt in front of her. Glancing at the GPS, Sarah realized, with a growing sense of dread, that she was going in circles. The road seemed to twist and turn, leading her back to the same stretch of desolate highway. Panic, cold and sharp, cut through her. She was trapped.